What if I told you you could heal from chronic stress and just start chipping away if you have trauma that you're living with? It can be done. I feel like you don't believe me. It is possible. It does take effort, though. I can't just wave my magic wand, wherever it might be right now. It will take you to take charge of your life and your thoughts to make it happen. And it just doesn't happen overnight. There are some shortcuts, but you need to start the groundwork. If you haven't seen me before, hi, I'm Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing. I would love it, and that's my cat Finn who just jumped on the table. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and like this video. Check out all my other videos. I think I have about 30 of them now. So what I do is I work with people. I'm a coach. I work with people to help them build a self-care practice. And number one is there a particular goal that you're working towards? Number two is to set the intention for that goal. Number three is decide which types of things to put in your self-care practice that might be helpful. And there's lots of different things you can do. And some things will be for you and other things won't be. And that's okay, because we're all different. Our brains are all different. We're unique people. And the next thing you need to do is carve time out in your day to do it. So it's not that difficult. It's just getting yourself to be in the habit of doing it. For instance, I get up in the morning and I meditate. A traditional meditation I do was a Vedic meditation. It's a mantra based. And it has helped me with my stress and my depression. And I've been meditating for years. Now that I go through times where, it doesn't happen, or times where I need more sleep. So I choose to sleep over meditating. I can always meditate later, but it seems like once I get home from work, it's just kind of like things seem to happen. I forget what my intention was for the day, and there it is. But I will get back to it, and I know that I will do other things for my self-care, my own self-care practice. Other things I do like the daily energy routine from Donna Eden, and I started tracing the meridians in my body. I was doing that. I had a staycation a couple weeks ago, so I got myself to do that. I just need to get back to doing it. But like at work, I can do the daily energy routine while I'm sitting in my chair, and it takes like 5 minutes. It's not a long process, so you could sneak it in when you just want to take a moment during the day. And it's like a mindful practice, and it hits on certain points on the meridians in your body. It's like one long meridian, but it's divided into 14. Things of that nature. So the other thing I do is each week when I make a video, I've been gone for a while. I've been on a hiatus, just to work on some things for myself. I do see making videos, whether people watch them or not, I'm putting my energy out there. I see that as part of my self-care practice, and part of evolving as a human being here. I think the last video I made was in November, and the energies were just so heavy for me because I'm a very sensitive person. So things affect me deeply, and I was just exhausted. And plus, I'm a woman of a certain age, so I'm dealing with that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel better now. Now that we got rid of the wood snake and we're into the fire horse energy, it's really lifted things. March is feeling better, but a little odd. And because we're in Mercury retrograde, that doesn't help either. So hopefully I don't have any technical difficulties. I mean, obviously my lighting isn't the best. I'm doing this at night. I usually record these during the day when the light is better, but we do things when we can do things, right? This is the way life is. The other thing I do in my videos, I have a healing mantra card deck. It's not my deck, it's somebody else's. And I shuffle and I allow the universe, God, source, angels, archangels, whatever you believe in, to pull the topic that I need to talk about, and then I do a guided meditation for you based on that subject. So, let's get a card. Okay, what topic do we need for the second week of March? Okay. The card is Honoring Adversity. I've gotten this card before. So there might be something going on in your life right now, some adversity. And adversity is not always a bad thing. But these are beautiful cards. And the back says, oh, interesting. A fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. And I find it interesting since we're in a fire horse year. So we're talking about fire. And fire is also the element of, if you're into tarot, it's the suit of wands. And fire is about passion and creativity, which can cause adversity. That makes complete sense to me. Let's just get what the book says real quick. When adversity is honored, life is appreciated as oscillating cycles of deterioration and renewal. Deterioration is the natural process of new things becoming old, while renewal is the process of old things becoming new. As you learn to honor these two interconnected processes, just as naturally as the changing of seasons, you are able to embrace adversity. It is not a punishment, but a gift of renewal birthed out of the ashes of erosion. This mantra is ideal for processing unforeseen changes, overcoming superstitious beliefs, and surrendering the ego. Ooh, ego. I know when a lot of people go through like a healing journey, ego tends to be the thing that you need to work on the most. That's never really been my problem. There have been times in my life where I've allowed my ego to rule, and honestly, when I have allowed that, or that has happened, it's like a whole different side of me. It's this arrogant, I can't even explain it because I don't think I've been in it for a long time. But it's kind of narcissistic in a way. And I've never liked when I've fallen into that. So I've always tried to keep myself humble. but not humble because of my traumas. And that's kind of a fine line we walk sometimes. But yes, life is, we go in cycles, we go in processes, kind of like, sometimes we rise from the ashes, the phoenix. Like some people say that the phoenix and they rise from the ashes. And it kind of reminds me like the world card in tarot, where you're going through the cycles in the world. If you know what the world card looks like, it's about cycles and changing of seasons. We're getting ready to change seasons here. Our clocks go forward this weekend here in the United States. I think the thing to glean from this is sometimes this process sucks, but there's always something to learn, and that's about, what the author says about honoring the processes. That's where we learn the most, when we go through these processes. You learn what not to do, what to do. It sometimes changes your thinking. Like as you get older, there might be something a topic years ago that you thought one way and now you're complete opposite of it. And one of the biggest topics I can think of as an example of what I'm talking about is abortion. When you're younger, you might be completely pro-life. But as you get older and start to understand, sometimes bad things happen, and then you kind of start changing the way you think about a subject like that. Just think about it, you might have to rewind and listen to what I read. But when we learn to honor all things that go on in our life and choose to reflect and learn from it, that's when we'll get the biggest gains out of life. And as you do that, it helps you to bring down chronic stress. Now, not all stress is bad. The acute types, that get your heart pumping, and that's actually good for your system. But prolonged chronic stress is not. And sometimes we put too much stress on ourselves because of things that we believe, things that were imprinted on us from our families, whether it be our thoughts or feelings, our spirituality, or religious factors, instead of really thinking for yourself and what you believe. Just finding your own path can be so freeing. And then you find that things aren't so stressful because you're not living authentically who you are versus everybody around you or people you grew up with or raised you. It took me a long time to really grasp that fully, because when you're a kid, you kind of you just go along with your parents. They're your parents, that's what you do. They go to a certain church, that's where you go. You listen to that pastor or preacher, and you're like, okay. And then you get older and you think, I don't agree with what that pastor is saying. That pastor is not God. That pastor is not Allah or the Buddha or, whatever religion you believe or spirituality you believe in. You hear Bible verses and you're like, well, how does that make sense? And what did I just see you doing that goes against what the Bible says? It's just an example. You start to see hypocrisies, you start to see things that don't make sense, things that are unbalanced. When you start to honor everything you're going through, and you start to really think about your life and how you want to proceed in life, what your path is, what your journey is. So, to manage your stress, be who you are. If you don't like that person, work on changing it. What do you want to change about you? That's up to you, though. Nobody else should tell you you need change. I think the only instances I would take pause in is like if you're a sociopath or a psychopath, and you're a serial killer, things of that nature. That's a little, sex offenders fall under that too. That's a little different story. I'm just, I'm talking to make you think about stuff. You may not believe anything that's coming out of my mouth, and that is completely fine. Because it's about you. I say things outrageous. You might think I'm this weird person, like, who are you and why are you telling me this? I'm doing it to make you think. I'm a very good active listener, but because we're on YouTube, I can't hear you, so I have to talk. So sometimes I'll say wild things, and you might get mad at me and be like, holy cow, what is wrong with this person? No. I'm making you think about something. Because I can't active listen to you. There's not enough critical thinking going on right now. And I want you to critically think about the life that you want, how to manage your stress, how to start managing your traumas if that's something you need to work on or want to work on. Because things can get better. I'm living proof of that as far as trauma. I have a video where I tell my story of why I'm doing this. I'm not going to bore you with that now because you might not care about the crazy woman on the screen. So, think about starting a self-care practice. I also have a video on alternative things to a typical self-care practice, diet, exercise. I talk about meditation and journaling and some of those basic things, but I also have other things. I actually want to make a card deck of all the things for a self-care practice. And if you're stuck one day and you don't know what to do, you take out your deck or you use it every day and to do different things. To expand your horizons and see what works for you. It's just an idea. I'm kind of spitballing around. I thought it was kind of a neat idea. If you get stuck and you don't want to do the same old thing every day, that you feel like you're restless and you need something to try something new, I thought maybe, hey, I can make a deck of different things, and then they just shuffle it, and whatever flies out of the deck, that's what you do. I'm here because I care. I'm here because I see so much stress in the world right now. I hear it at work. I feel it myself. I see it on TV. I see how people are behaving in stores. We do have power. We can take our power back if that's what you need to do. We tend to give our power away, especially if we don't like conflict. Take it back. And you can only control you, unfortunately. So take your power back to manage your stress. And make it a daily habit, like brushing your teeth. Just carve out a little time in your day. And believe me, I wish I did this years ago with a self-care practice. I spent many years trying to figure out what to do with myself. How could I heal? How could I get rid of some of the stress? And I had a depression and anxiety, and I would just have thoughts just constantly going through my head. I have gotten rid of that with meditation. I've done some other work, some other modalities. I am an energy healer. I've been training since 2006 in different stuff. I started out with Reiki, if you've ever heard of that. So there's many, many ways, many modalities out there of things you can do to try to help your stress, lift certain layers off of yourself energetically. So let's do a meditation. I'll guide you through a meditation. So I'm pretty good at it. I do it at work once a week, 15 minutes. There's a meditation group and we do it through Teams. I just did one Wednesday. Help people relax a little bit. So we're going to honor adversity. So get comfortable. Hopefully you're in a place where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. You can, always pause this video and find time for that if you can't right now. Obviously, if you're driving in your car, don't do this. You can listen to it, just don't close your eyes or anything like that. So you could be sitting up with both feet flat on the floor, or you could lay down. I never know which one it is, lay or lie, but anyway. You just might fall asleep, and that's not the goal of this. Obviously, if you have some kind of injury and you can't sit up, or then obviously you can't. So once you're comfortable, I usually do a clearing, walk you through a clearing. But I'm just going to set the intention that whoever listens to this, your space is going to be cleared. All negative, low vibrational things are going to be sent up into the heavens to be transmuted. And when you're ready, close your eyes or lower your gaze. Take some deep cleansing breaths, fill your lungs up the entire way, and hold it at the top. And then release. And do that 2 more times. As you settle in, make sure your spine is straight. You can even raise your shoulders as you breathe in, and then let them drop when you exhale. Just relax. Listen to my voice. And I want you to think of a time, a moment, where you had some adversity with another person. And don't allow it to stress you out. Look at it like you're watching a movie. You're outside of yourself, and you're watching this play out. Let the memory play out in your mind. Make sure you breathe fluid. Now, as you think about that scene and that you were outside of yourself looking at the situation, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Could you have handled it differently? Could you have walked away? Now, whatever you thought you could have done differently, I want you to replay this scene, but do what you think you should have done. Just change the scene. Now I want you to think about the difference in how you felt when it was happening for real, and now that you've changed the scene, the difference in how you feel about it. Hopefully there's a big difference, I'm hoping. And I'm setting the intention, and you set the intention that if something like this happens again, you're going to be able to choose better, because you're now reflecting on the situation and you're learning from it. And you've changed the outcome, so you're going to change how you feel about it. Just think about that for a minute. And don't get stressed about it. You're in a safe place. You're just observing yourself and working to change your reactions. Now, if you felt like you did the right thing, that's awesome. But if you're still feeling stressed about it, think about actually scan your body, starting at your head, down to your toes, and where are you feeling that stress? Now I want you to imagine wherever that stress is, that it's dissolving. If you need to make it like a shape and a color, to make it dissolve, to imagine it dissolving, do that. And ask it to leave and not come back. Now rescan your body and see if that stress has popped up anyplace else, and rinse and repeat. Ask for all stress to leave your body. Take some deep breaths. Make sure you're breathing the whole way into your stomach. And when you exhale, you're exhaling stress, you're exhaling negativity, you're exhaling depression, anxiety. When you breathe in, picture you're breathing in unconditional love. You can even, whatever color you associate with that, like pink, breathe in pink and exhale gray. Get all the yucky stuff out. And let your breath envelop your whole body and release it out of your entire body. Relax. And just sense now your environment, your body. Be mindful of what's going on right now. Do you hear anything? A bird outside perhaps, wind chimes. How's the air feel? How's your breath? Is it slow and relaxing? And how is your heart beating? Hopefully slow and relaxing. And let's do some gratitude. What are you grateful for? Friends, ones, loved ones, your partner in life, your pets. And if you're struggling with gratitude, you can say, I am grateful for my morning coffee. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful to be alive. And repeat this either to yourself or you can say it out loud. I honor all adversity in my life. I honor all adversity in my life. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And breathe out. You can slowly come back. When you're ready, open your eyes. Hopefully, this has helped you in some way, made you think about some things about yourself and how you think about adversity, how you handle adversity, how you want to handle adversity in your life going forward. Because like I said, you only control yourself. I want to thank you for watching. Again, my name is Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.